What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Rampage Jackson gets heated with a security guard during a live stream on Kick, and the whole situation spirals fast. Rampage was filming when a security guard approached and told him to stop recording or leave. Rampage wasn't having it. He pushed back calmly at first, asking how they were supposed to put it away. The guard insisted, saying he'd have to ask them to leave, and Rampage agreed, saying they'd go. But his car was parked in the back. Another security officer then stepped in and blocked him from entering the parking area, telling him he had to go all the way around. Rampage wasn't too mad about that part and agreed to walk around, but things took a turn when a young fan approached him for a picture. The security tried to stop the kid, telling him he couldn't take a photo, and that's when Rampage snapped. He exploded, telling the guard to shut the up and demanded he stop telling a kid no. He told the fan to come over and take the picture anyway. Rampage kept going, calling the guard a power-tripping ass and telling him multiple times to shut the up. He said no one should stop a kid from getting a picture, especially when the fan just wanted a simple moment. Rampage stood by the kid, repeating that the guard had no right to deny him. Even while frustrated, he emphasized the fan could take the picture, reminding the guard that this was the kid. Rampage's anger kept spilling out as he tried to walk toward his Sprinter van, saying the security had no reason to block anyone from a harmless interaction. The situation highlighted how quickly things can escalate when authority clashes with a celebrity trying to interact with fans. Rampage made it clear he felt the guard was overstepping, and he wasn't going to let a young fan miss out because of what he saw as unnecessary control. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, we finally have an update on RDR's next UFC fight following his alarming loss to Brendan Allen back in October. After that tough setback, many fans were concerned about his health and how long it would take before he could seriously train again. Thankfully, RDR is now reporting that he's doing a lot better. Recently, he appeared at a karate combat event, and during an interview with Helwani Fight, he opened up about how his recovery has been going. He said he's been feeling a lot better over the last few days, and that his progress has really picked up. He even sparred earlier this week, trained hard for a couple of days, and said he's basically feeling ready again. When asked about who he might fight next, RDR made it clear he isn't in a position to call anyone out right now. He said maybe he'll return soon, possibly early next year, especially since there isn't much happening in the middleweight division at the moment. There aren't a lot of matchups booked, and things feel wide open. He admitted that what he truly wants is a rematch, so he can show the world that the fighter they saw in the Allen bout wasn't the real him. But even he acknowledged that a rematch probably isn't realistic right now, so he'll just have to wait and see what the UFC offers him next. Before the loss to Allen, RDR had been on a strong run. He'd won 5 straight fights, 4 of those being inside the octagon, and one of the most notable victories came against former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. That win had a lot of fans believing RDR was closing in on a title shot sooner rather than later. The loss to Allen slowed that momentum, but with RDR back to training and feeling healthier, there's still plenty of time for him to rebuild, regroup, and get another big opportunity. For now, RDR seems focused, motivated, and ready to erase the memory of his last performance. As the division continues to shift and new contenders emerge, his return early next year could add another interesting wrinkle to an already unpredictable middleweight landscape. Moving on to another news, Tom Aspinall has revealed his Fighter of the Year, and with 25 winding down, everyone is making their final picks. Recently, Aspinall shared his thoughts, and his selection might catch a few people off guard. In a new video, the heavyweight champ explained that, for him, one fighter stood out above the rest this year, and that fighter is Ilya. He said Ilya has been unbelievable, and that he expects many more great years from him in the sport. When asked about the best knockout of the year, Aspinall admitted he's a bit biased, because the moments that stick with him most are the ones he witnessed live. He recalled Ilya's knockout over Charles Oliveira at UFC 300, calling it one of the best he's ever seen in person. He described the atmosphere that night as absolutely incredible, and said that's his pick for knockout of the year. There's no question Ilya's KO of Oliveira was massive. It crowned him the lightweight champion, and it was one of the most talked about finishes of the year. But it was also the only time Ilya fought in 2025. If Merab had won at UFC 323, he would have been a lock for Fighter of the Year, considering he would have set a historic record with 4 title defenses in a single calendar year. But since that didn't happen, the race became a lot more open. As for Aspinall himself, it's still unclear when he'll fight again after his disastrous bout with Ciryl Gane in October. Right after the event, Dana White made headlines when he He said only Aspinall knew whether he could see or not during the fight. Those comments didn't sit well with the British champ, who later insisted he didn't continue because he literally couldn't see, and he's no dummy. After UFC 323, White was asked again about Aspinall's reaction to his remarks. White explained that the UFC has people checking on Aspinall constantly to make sure he's okay and to see if he needs any specialists. He emphasized he wasn't trying to insult Aspinall or frame him in a negative way. He said he doesn't even fully remember how he phrased it, but the intent wasn't derogatory. According to White, he simply meant that Aspinall would take time to heal, recover, and come back when he's ready. It'll be interesting to see if Aspinall responds to White's clarification, especially since many people believed back in October that the UFC CEO was taking a shot at him for not continuing. For now, fans are waiting to see when the heavyweight champ will return and how he'll bounce back from that tough night. Moving on to another news, Sean O'Malley reacted live as Merab and Petr Yan went to war at UFC 323, and his response shows just how shocking Yan's performance truly was. Petr Yan stunned the entire MMA world with a dominant showing that nobody expected, and O'Malley was one of the many people left with their jaws on the floor. As most fans know by now, Yan didn't just snap Merab's long winning streak, he did it in a way that shocked even his harshest critics. He stuffed nearly all of Merab's relentless takedown attempts, and then turned the tables by taking Merab down multiple times himself. O'Malley happened to be streaming during the event, and his live reaction captured the moment perfectly. As Yan secured another takedown in the final seconds, O'Malley couldn't hold back. He shouted that Yan was putting a stamp on the fight, and he joked about texting Hunter right then and there, because what he was witnessing was one of the most impressive performances he'd ever seen. He imagined how wild it would have been if the judges somehow gave Merab the decision. But in the end, he praised Yan for getting the job done in spectacular fashion. His excitement was real, raw, and completely unfiltered. Even though O'Malley joked about replacing his scheduled January 24th fight against Song Yadong to rematch Yan, everyone knows that isn't happening. Still, his reaction showed nothing but respect for what Yan accomplished. He wasn't the only one sharing praise either. Aljamain Sterling, who's preparing to fight Deiveson Figueiredo at UFC 324, congratulated Yan and said it was a great, spectacular performance. He added that once January 24th arrives, everything will become clear regarding who deserves the next shot. Khamzat also chimed in with his thoughts, congratulating Yan on an amazing fight and wishing him a fast recovery so he can return even stronger. Meanwhile, Merab's teammate and fellow Russian fighter, Movsar Evloev, also celebrated Yan's win, saying Yan once again proved that hard work brings results. After the dust settled, Petr Yan went to Twitter to address fans, saying history was made. He thanked everyone who supported him through his toughest moments, especially his family and his team, and said this win was for them. He added that everything is now in the right place. On the other side, an emotional Merab posted a video to his home country of Georgia, to his family, and to his fans. He said he was ready to die for them, thanked his mother, and promised he was more motivated than ever. Despite a few scratches on his face, he assured everyone he felt great and vowed that the best is yet to come. Even though Merab's time as champion came to an end, that didn't stop him from heading out to a post-fight party in Vegas. And the rivalry continued when Yan took a playful jab at Merab on Twitter by posting an AI-generated picture of himself relaxing in a jacuzzi surrounded by women, while Merab served him a drink. It was a direct response to Merab publicly inviting Yan to a jacuzzi during a press conference, an offer Yan rejected while taking a shot at Merab's usual company. Moving on to another news, Jamahal Hill and Joanna Jedrzejczyk were involved in a heated verbal altercation ahead of UFC 323, and the moment quickly spread across social media. Reports say the situation escalated when Joanna allegedly became aggressive toward Hill's partner, leading Hill to step in and confront her directly. Witnesses said Hill didn't hesitate to defend his girl, warning Joanna that if she touched her, things would get serious. As the tension grew, Hill made it absolutely clear where he stood. In the clip, he can be heard saying, "Do not touch my girl, or I'ma knock you the out." His tone left no room for misunderstanding. Joanna, unfazed, responded with, "Yeah, you will," standing her ground as the argument continued. Hill then fired back with a firm and final period, signaling he was done talking and fully standing by his warning. The exchange shocked a lot of fans, especially since it happened so publicly and right before a major event. Both fighters are known for their competitive fire, but seeing them clash like this outside the cage brought a whole new layer of intensity to an already chaotic fight week. Moving on to another news, Dana White's long-running war against illegal streaming is back in the spotlight, and he isn't holding anything back. Dana has always been vocal about shutting down piracy, especially the sites that steal UFC content, and this latest conversation shows he still takes it personally. Over the years, he's repeatedly emphasized how important it is for the UFC to go after people who stream events illegally, and he's never shied away from saying exactly how he feels about it. Recently, Dana appeared on the Caleb Pressley show, and the moment the topic of illegal streaming came up, things got interesting fast. As the segment played out, Dana was asked about the recent shutdown of Stream East, and there were hints that he played a role in taking that platform down. The co-host leaned into the moment, jokingly asking Dana how he manages to sleep at night after shutting down sites that people rely on for free streams. Dana didn't hesitate for a second. He leaned back, ready to fire off a response, and the banter took off from there. The co-host claimed he had been promoting illegal fighting, trying to spin the situation as if Dana was the one encouraging something unlawful. Dana quickly pushed back, asking what exactly was illegal about the fighting, only for the co-host to reveal that the site he watched on told him it was illegal. Dana barely reacted, almost amused by the excuse. Things escalated when the co-host brought up how his friend Balls had been struggling to stream fights lately because Stream East wasn't working anymore. He asked Dana if he wanted to apologize for that inconvenience. Dana just smirked as he admitted he had cut down a lot of streamers over the years. He didn't try to hide it. In fact, he seemed proud of it. When they pressed him further, asking if he shut down Stream East specifically, Dana said that taking down streaming sites was actually one of his favorite things to do. He said it casually, without hesitation, as if it was just another part of his routine. The co-hosts kept joking about loving Stream East, but Dana didn't budge, saying the UFC took piracy seriously and went after people consistently and aggressively. That earned him a playful narc label from the hosts, but Dana clearly didn't care. And now, with the UFC heading into a new broadcast deal with Paramount in 2026, many believe piracy might slow down, especially with the expected end of the traditional pay-per-view model in the United States. Dana didn't address that directly in the segment, but his attitude made one thing clear. As long as illegal streaming exists, he's going after it with full force. Moving on to another news. Alex Pereira is once again making headlines as he openly talks about wanting to fight at heavyweight next. Over the past few months, Pereira has hinted several times that he's interested in moving up, especially for a potential showdown with Jon Jones at the White House. But now, things have shifted. He's no longer focused on a specific opponent. Instead, he's saying he doesn't care who stands across from him. He simply wants the heavyweight belt, and he wants it next. Pereira originally moved up from 185 to 205 because cutting to middleweight had become extremely difficult. Since making that move, he has thrived, becoming a dominant force and capturing the light heavyweight title. He's also been posting clips showing himself weighing well over 225 pounds, which only fueled more speculation about a jump to heavyweight. After his impressive win over Magomed, where he claimed the belt, fans immediately started wondering whether he'd go after a third title. Pereira fed into that excitement by stating clearly that he wanted Jones next at the White House, a fight that would be massive for the sport. Recently, during an appearance on Brazil's Omelette, Pereira was asked again about moving up to heavyweight, and this time, he gave his clearest answer yet. He said he doesn't know what the UFC has planned, but he does know his own desire. He explained that he's talked about fighting at heavyweight, he's mentioned the idea of facing Jon Jones, and he's even discussed the possibility of chasing a third belt. But he admitted that none of it is fully in his control. He emphasized that he has his goals, but just like the fans, he's waiting to see what direction the UFC decides to take. Pereira said he's ready for whatever comes and willing to fight whoever stands in the way of the heavyweight title. What happens next for Pereira is going to be fascinating. A matchup with Jones would be absolutely massive and could break viewing records. But there's also been new talk of Pereira facing Ciryl Gane for an interim heavyweight championship. On top of that, the UFC may decide to keep him at light heavyweight a little longer and match him up with surging contender Carlos Ulberg. Regardless of the opponent, one thing is clear. Pereira is hungry for history, and he's serious about chasing his third division title. Moving on to another news. While we're already on the topic of Alex Pereira, things took a turn when Khamzat revealed a huge career move and then went off on Pereira in a recent interview with ESPN MMA. During the conversation, Khamzat opened up about his future plans, explaining that he wants to fight one more time at middleweight before officially moving up. He said he's looking at the bigger picture, talking about the names waiting for him at the next weight class, mentioning that there are a lot of big fights, big paydays, and plenty of exciting options. But before all of that, he wants one final middleweight bout to close that chapter. Then he's ready to step up and chase the next challenge. Shortly after laying out that plan, Khamzat turned his attention to Alex Pereira and didn't hold back when discussing a potential matchup. He said it's a good fight for both of them, but in his opinion, the UFC doesn't want to book that fight for him. He pointed out that Pereira was willing to fight Duplessis, and Pereira initially accepted that matchup. But now, according to Khamzat, Pereira is suddenly saying fighting him isn't a good idea. He said Pereira claims he's more famous, and that Khamzat is only using his name for attention. Khamzat dismissed that immediately, saying that even a simple hi on his Instagram story pulls more views than Pereira's entire fights. He insisted that Pereira isn't more famous than him, and he genuinely doesn't believe Pereira wants the fight. He said Pereira knows the truth, the UFC knows the truth, and Khamzat added that he can't reveal everything the UFC has told him because it wouldn't be respectful toward Pereira. Still, he made it clear that everyone understands Pereira is not on his level. In that same interview, Khamzat also responded to comments made by Glover Teixeira, who had said Khamzat can get it anywhere, anytime, implying he'd confront him even outside the cage. Khamzat fired right back, saying that if Teixeira truly wants to do something, they don't need a hotel lobby or some random location. He said Teixeira works with the UFC. He has a contract, and if he really wants to make something happen, he should step into the octagon. Khamzat ended the topic by saying that if Teixeira wants a fight, then let's go.